Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We are going to talk about growing your first-time homebuyer business and essentially increasing your leads, growing your pipeline, specifically using our Down Payment Connect tool. Some of you already have Down Payment Connect for free through your membership with our partner MLSs. I see some of you on, Catherine from San Antonio and elsewhere. We're going to talk through Down Payment Connect and by and large, how your peers are using this tool to educate more buyers, to enhance their marketing reach, and to build their purchase pipeline. So let's get started. My name is Sean Moss. We have a number of members of our team in the background who will be answering questions as we go. And if you will use the Zoom Q&A feature to enter your questions, that's a lot easier to track than the chat. So if you have specific questions for us, please use the Zoom Q&A feature, and that's where we will be monitoring for questions. We've got 4 or 5 members of our team in the background that are answering those for you as we go. So keep it interactive. Don't let any questions linger. Go ahead and put them in the Zoom Q&A, and we'll get to those live as we go, and we'll save a few minutes at the end for some additional Q&A. So a little bit about us at Down Payment Resource. We just celebrated, I think last week, our 16th anniversary. So for 16 years, we have been tracking and monitoring all of the homebuyer assistance programs across the country, and you'll see the kinds of organizations those come from. But that is about 2,300 homeownership programs across the country. Now, remember, you don't need to know 2,300 programs. We're going to talk a little bit about that in this webinar and some of the other ones that we do. Just get to know 1 or 2 or 3 in your market. And we make all of that information readily available and accessible to you, including next steps, which we'll talk about today as well. But we integrate this information into MLSs and property listing data. So many of you are joining us today because you are members of our partner MLSs. I'll put a list of those up on the screen a couple times today so that those of you who are members of those partner MLSs, you will know how to access Down Payment Connect for free. We also have a paid version of that, which we'll get into as well for those of you who are loan officers or are agents in other markets outside of our partner MLSs. But today is not going to be a full-on demo of everything we offer as part of our MLS partnerships, which is integration into your MLS on eligible listings, so you can see when down payment help is available, and other marketing tools and resources for you and your clients to access information about these down payment assistance programs. Today's focus is on the Down Payment Connect tool in particular, and specifically how it helps agents and loan officers connect buyers with the down payment help they need in a fun, unique, creative way. So ultimately, we are here at Down Payment Resource to help you connect home buyers to the down payment help they need. Now, we have another webinar that breaks down, we call it DPA 101, but breaks down home buyer assistance programs in general, how they're similar, how they're different, how they work, and so forth. So we're not going to get into that level of detail about the programs. Today's focus is really to kind of keep it fun and focus on the marketing aspect of this. How do you reach more buyers? How do you let them know that homeownership may well be within reach? How do you give them a path to search for the opportunities that could open the door to homeownership? That's what this tool allows you to do. So today we're going to be focused on a brief overview of the state of down payment assistance, what's out there, what is the impact of these programs. We're going to illustrate the first-time homebuyer market opportunity and some awareness gaps that we think are out there, and how to educate those buyers about down payments and about down payment assistance, specifically by showing you how to enhance your marketing and expand your reach using Down Payment Connect in ways maybe similar to how your peers are using it. We have tons of examples to show you about using Down Payment Connect in your web, email, social media, blog, and other digital marketing that we're going to talk about and illustrate for you today. But first, let's jump into the state of down payment assistance. What's out there? So of the roughly 2,300 programs available across the country, about 3/4 of them are some form of down payment and closing cost help. And really, this slide gets broken down in an entire webinar called DPA 101, which we do basically every quarter and then sometimes intermittently. But just a quick recap, most of the homebuyer assistance programs available in your market and across the country offer some form of down payment or closing cost help. Now, some of those are grants, most of them are loans, but those loans can be deferred, meaning there's no monthly payment on the down payment assistance loan. Many, more than half, are also forgivable, meaning it's not a grant at closing, but the down payment assistance loan becomes forgivable in the future or over time incrementally. And then, of course, there are some down payment assistance loans that are just simply repayable. They come with a payment just like the first mortgage. There are other kinds of homebuyer assistance programs in many of your markets, not the least of which are mortgage credit certificates. There are still some of those in many states. Those are tax credits. They're great life of loan opportunities. There are affordable first mortgage programs that offer higher LTV financing, reduced mortgage insurance, sometimes below market interest rates, and other benefits, typically from your state housing finance agencies. And then there is a category of other programs, which we're not really going to get into today because, again, we have an entirely separate webinar dedicated to literally breaking this slide down and talking about all of these nuances. But we do want to remind everyone that these programs are available everywhere. So you may be joining us from San Antonio, from Kansas City, from Orlando. You may be joining us from Austin, Texas, or you may be joining us from a super high cost market like Southern California or New York City, where there are also programs available. Every state has a state housing finance agency whose programs are available statewide. Increasingly, we're going to look at in just a moment, we're seeing a lot of flexibilities offered by these program providers to keep the door open to more potential buyers by increasing purchase price limits, assistance amounts, income limits, and so forth. But the point here is these programs really are truly available everywhere. There is no market, no county, no city in the country where there isn't at least some form of homebuyer assistance from the state housing finance agency. And then you layer in all of the cities, counties, nonprofits, housing authorities, and so forth that also offer homebuyer assistance, and there become layer of opportunities for your aspiring homebuyers. So these programs are everywhere, whether or not you're high cost, medium cost, low cost in your market, whether or not you're coastal or inland, and so on and so forth, suburban, urban, ex-urban, rural. There are programs in every market. There may be more in larger markets, but there are programs everywhere. So as far as trends, kind of continuing with the really wrapping up the state of down payment assistance, demand for these programs has been through the roof. You have probably all seen in the last, especially 2, 3, 4 years, increasing awareness among consumers, although, as we'll see in a moment, there's still a lot of ground to make up there. Increasing awareness among real estate agents, although, again, still a lot of ground to make up. Increasing utilization among lenders of these programs, and consumers driving that demand by finding out that these programs are available or exist and asking their agents and asking their loan officers to help them with these programs, which is why we're here with you today. There are no consumers, no home buyers on this webinar. This is for real estate agents and loan officers to learn how to reach those consumers that are looking for help, that think maybe they could buy a home, but they're being put off by news or high interest rates and things like that, student loan news. But if we get the right message in front of them and the right tools like Down Payment Connect, then we can change their minds and we can get them into the pipeline and actively pursuing home ownership, which is what all of you want. Now, another important trend, not to overlook the fact that we continue quarter after quarter, month after month, year over year, to see more new programs hit the market at, quite frankly, a surprising clip. We're also seeing DPA providers continue to enhance their programs, as I just mentioned, with higher assistance amounts, so more dollars for down payment or closing cost help, more flexible uses of those funds. We're seeing program providers now start to allow for interest rate buydowns, for covering mortgage insurance costs, prepaids, and more. So we're seeing them expand the ways that you can use the down payment money. And we're also seeing higher income limits and higher purchase price limits, aggressively pursuing a larger credit box for more buyers to take advantage of these programs, and for you to serve more buyers with these programs, or better yet, create more buyers by educating them about the fact that this opportunity, as in for home ownership, is truly within reach. And then, of course, 81% of all of these programs are funded and available. That's a normal number. It's been super consistent for years. There is some seasonality with some of these programs, but from your state housing finance agencies, for example, most of their programs are perpetually funded. Now, all of this is to say, as far as the state of down payment assistance, these programs are absolutely still available. There are more and more and more of them continuing to hit the market. They are not going away. And these program providers continue to try to expand their criteria to keep the door open to more buyers in terms of income and price. So as incomes rise or don't in some markets, as prices continue to go up, they're trying to offer help for those buyers, taking account of market dynamics or market conditions. Now, let's think for a moment and transition here for a moment to the mindset of a consumer, the knowledge of a first-time home buyer, what they know, what they don't know, and how we can help them. So we know that a lot of, especially first-time home buyers, younger, we talked for years about millennials. Now it's what Gen, I don't even know, Z, whatever the next one is. They want to stop renting. They're trying to save for a new home. They believe in the dream of home ownership, but they doubt they qualify. They don't think they have enough money saved up. Why is that? Well, we'll look at the numbers in just a second, but we know that especially first-time home buyers, they need help navigating the home buying process. They need help getting approved or pre-approved or pre-qualified for a home loan. They need help comparing and understanding mortgage options, as in the first mortgage, right? The purchase mortgage. But we also know that they need help covering their down payment and closing costs, and they need help understanding actual down payment requirements. We'll talk about that in a minute. We also know that for most down payment assistance programs, they have to complete a homebuyer education class. We are big proponents of that requirement because it educates aspiring home buyers about the home buying journey, but also about preparedness and expectations and potential pitfalls long-term for home ownership. And when taking the class, they also become better prepared clients, better educated clients for you. And ultimately, we're in a competitive market still with very limited inventory, so they need help navigating all of that. However, when surveyed, we find out things like these. This is a byproduct of a survey from the Urban Institute, their housing finance policy center, a couple years ago, but it's all still relevant. And we see survey after survey, news story after news story continue to affirm these results and these notions of homebuyer awareness, if you will. So this survey was of millennial renters at the time, so under 40, 42, something like that, and currently renting. When asked what their biggest barrier to homeownership was, 68%, more than 2/3, said that the down payment was their biggest barrier to homeownership. Not a surprise, right? When asked how much they thought they had to have as a down payment in order to buy a home, almost 2/3, 65% of them, said they thought they had to have 15% or 20% down or more in order to buy a home. Now, everyone on this call knows that that's just flat out untrue. There's FHA, 3.5% down, conventional, 3% down, 5% down options. VA, if you're a qualified veteran, 0% down. USDA or RD, if you're buying a qualified or eligible rural property, 0% down. We all know that. The problem is too many aspiring homebuyers don't know that, and therefore they buy into this 20% myth where they think you can't buy a home if you don't have 20% down. And we see news stories about, well, how long does it take to save 20%? Or how much is 20% in a given market? That's great, but what does it take to save 3.5% or 3% or 5%, right? We should be looking at that. Nonetheless, there's an awareness gap, an education gap here among aspiring home buyers. We need to make sure they understand you don't have to have 20% down to buy a home. Sure, there are benefits like you avoid mortgage insurance, right? But you don't have to have 20% to buy a home. And there's help to get there. To that point, the last question here that we wanted to pull out from that survey, again, millennial renters, when asked, how familiar are you with low down payment programs? 76%, three quarters, said they had little or no familiarity with low down payment programs. Now, what does that mean? That's not down payment assistance. That is first mortgage products like the ones I just mentioned, FHA, Fannie, Freddie, 3%, 5% down, VA, USDA. They didn't know that those were out there. So no wonder they think you have to have 20% down because they don't know about the standard mortgage options out there that require far less than that. So that sort of sets the stage for what the consumer is thinking or not thinking that we can address, that we can combat. So that means we know that home buyers need help. We know that real estate agents need loan officers who offer down payment assistance, and we'll cover that in a little bit as well. And we also know that obviously loan officers aren't doing a ton of refinance business right now, so they need purchase loan applications. So if we put all that together, we all have an opportunity to hop on this DPA bandwagon while programs are coming to market en masse. They're increasing they're providing more flexible qualifying criteria, and home buyers hopefully are, through you, coming to know about these programs. So how do we connect them to down payment help? This is where we're going to get into this Down Payment Connect tool. But first, I want to make sure everybody understands how to get the tool if you are a member of one of these MLSs. You have Down Payment Connect for free. Now, I won't go through the whole list. Well, tell you what, let's do it. CRMLS, Southern California, and quite frankly, a lot of California. Stellar in Florida, Central Florida, Orlando, Tampa, and beyond. Real MLS in Jacksonville. MLS PIN out of Massachusetts. HAR, Houston Association of Realtors in Texas. First MLS in Atlanta. Central Virginia in Richmond. North Star in the Twin Cities. I'll skip Spokane. Heartland in Kansas City. Coming now, essentially. Northwest out of Seattle, RealComp in Detroit, Greater Lansing in Michigan, Mybor in Indianapolis, Space Coast coming any day now in coastal Eastern Florida, One Key in New York City and up the Hudson Valley, Austin Board in Texas, Greater Alabama and Birmingham, Sabor in San Antonio, Texas, and recently launched Canopy in North Carolina. If you are a member of one of those MLSs, you have Down Payment Connect for free. Here is how you access it. And then we're going to talk about how it works and how and when and why to use the tool. So I can't provide screenshots here for every one of your MLSs, but generally speaking, whether you're on Matrix, Paragon, Flex, in your MLS dashboard, there will be a link to down payment resource. Some of you may have a kind of a different dashboard like this one, where all of the third-party tools or marketing tools and so forth are listed. Look for down payment resource, open it up, and you will land on this page. This is your down payment resource dashboard. Don't go use this link, this URL. That's mine. It's a demo link. It goes nowhere. But your link will look just like that, waiting for you, ending in your first name _ last name. And that is your Down Payment Connect landing page. It is unique to you. It is free if you are a member of one of those partner MLSs. You do not have to pay for it. We are not going to charge you for it in the future. There is no upsell. Now, I want to clarify, we do have a paid version because some of you are loan officers and you're not a member of an MLS. Some of you may be real estate agents who are members of MLSs not mentioned before that we've not yet partnered with. We're happy to accept an introduction to your MLS. We'd love to talk to them, but you do have an option to subscribe to the tool. I'll show you that in just a moment. But this is where you get your your Down Payment Connect landing page. It is a URL, a page we host, but it is unique to you. And I'll go through who gets the leads and how that works. But it's free if you're a member of one of our MLS partners. It also comes with, as you can see right below the link on the far left, that marketing resources button. That takes you to a page that has customizable flyers, social media graphics, and other graphics packages. There are also video tutorials. There's a social media tutorial for how to use Down Payment Connect on various social media platforms and much more to help you get started and to help you do the things that we're going to be looking at here in just a moment that your peers around the country are doing to get this tool out there, to get the word out there, to engage new buyers, to educate them, and to build their pipeline. But if you are not a member of one of our MLS partners, you can also subscribe. So that means loan officers, there is a version for you as well. Agents and loan officers, you get a personalized lead generation landing page. That's the consumer facing piece. And there's no limit to the traffic you can generate, the leads you can generate from that page. It's your page. Now, you're not buying leads from us. We're not creating leads for you. It is a marketing tool meant to supplement your marketing activities with the ability to find down payment programs. Loan officers, there's a version for you that gives you a detailed directory of all of the programs in the states that you subscribe to, up to 4. You can also control which programs display to eligible or likely borrowers because we know that you're only going to be out there marketing the programs that you actively participate in or offer. And you get a back office search widget to compare options yourself without having to go through the consumer search. So if you are not a member of one of our MLS partners, you can go to downpaymentresource.com/DPC, as in Down Payment Connect. The URL is here on the page. And Mel, if we can post that in the chat so everybody can grab that. For you loan officers or you agents that are not a member of one of those MLS partners. And I will show that MLS partner list at the end of the webinar again. But you get to educate and engage new buyers. The buyers use your landing page to complete a search for homebuyer assistance where they want to buy a home. They don't even have to have an address. They can just say, I want to buy in this city or even this county. When they complete that search, they are generating leads to you and only you. No one else gets those leads. I'll reiterate that in just a moment. So this is an opportunity for you to enhance your marketing, your digital marketing, tap into growth markets, and learn more about the DPAs available in your market. Are you paying for leads? No. Whether or not you have Down Payment Connect for free or you are subscribing to the paid version of Down Payment Connect, that fee is a fixed monthly fee if you don't have it for free, right? But you're not buying the leads after that. You are generating your own leads through your own landing page with that unique tool. Again, free for you MLS partners, paid version available for loan officers and agents elsewhere. Nobody else gets those leads. It's your landing page. Those are your leads and yours alone. No one else is copied, not the program provider, not another agent, not another lender, and they're not sold or resold elsewhere by us. They're your leads. That's your information. So let's get into the crux of today's event. This is where we're going to open the floodgates and show you tons of ways that your peers, both agents and originators, loan officers around the country, are using Down Payment Connect to educate and attract new buyers. Now, I'm going to show you in a few minutes how Down Payment Connect actually works. Like, what is the consumer experience? In fact, you know what? I'm going to do that first. So here is a sample Down Payment Connect landing page. This is my demo version. Again, don't use this URL. This one's mine, but go get yours. When you get the consumer to this page, here's what happens. And then we're going to go back and look at all of the many creative ways that your peers are getting the consumer to this page. So once they get here, you've told them that these programs are out there. You've given them some maybe educational content, and you've said, hey, here's a tool where you can search for the programs available for you. This is that tool. So they don't have to have an address. If they do, if maybe they're already under contract, we would hope they're doing this before that, long before that. But let's just say that they generally know where they want to buy. So they want to buy in Orlando. Okay, well, there are 23 programs, or if you're a lender, however many of those you offer, we can account for a number of other factors about their household, but everything else is optional. If the consumer wants to, they just click on Get Details. They go on to the contact form. We're going to tell them how many programs may be available based on any information they provided in the form preceding this, and how many dollars they might get from the best among those programs. Then, look, there's no list of programs, there's no information about them. They're going to fill out this contact form to learn more about those 23 or 7 or 2 or however many programs, and that money that is available for down payment help. So the consumer fills this out, and you've got their contact information. They submit this, and that emails you the lead, and only then emails the consumer the names of the programs they found, but no links to any details or third parties. So you and the consumer both get an email at the same time. You get a list of all the programs they found with access to details about them, plus all of their contact information from this form. And you're the only one that gets that lead. So I'll go back real quick to the search form. If they want to enter anything else, like price in Orlando, let's say 450,000. Well, my program count went down because I'm getting up to some of the purchase price limits of some of those programs. At 550, well, okay, 555, there's still plenty of help available, right? Now, those numbers are going to differ by market based on the programs available, as will available property types. What if they're buying a duplex? Still help out there. What if they're buying a 4-unit property? There's still help out there in some markets, but we will account for that. How many people are in the household? Let's say 4, income 97,000. Well, that might exceed the income limits of some of those programs, but if they want to give us that information, we will account for it when we process their eligibility for the programs in that market. Have they served in the military? Is anyone employed in a certain profession for which there may be additional opportunities? We will add them to the mix whenever the consumer is ready. As long as they gave us location, we know where to look for programs. They go back to that contact form, they submit that to you, and you get the lead. So that is the consumer experience. Now, let's look at some of the ways that your peers are using this tool and using our graphics and using flyers and using educational content across many different marketing mediums, whether it's website, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, email signature, email marketing campaign, blog, and so forth. We're going to see all of it. So let's get started. This is the fun part. This is where you really need to tune in and decide for yourself, what do I want to do? What's the low-hanging fruit? What can I start with? What's really simple? And then how can I iterate on that? How can I weave this tool, weave this idea of down payment assistance and DPA education into more of my marketing? So here's a simple example. This is the homepage for Brian. He's in Atlanta. And at the bottom of his homepage, or it's actually, I think, above the fold, but anyway, right below his bio is this blurb about down payment assistance. These programs are available, great program. Click the button to check your eligibility. He's also got one of our graphics. That's also a link to his Down Payment Connect page. Now, I'm going to show you some screenshots here for a moment, but then we're going to look at even more examples live, and we're going to look at some of these screenshots live on those websites, because some of these, you can't tell the whole story in a screenshot. But let's go through some of them. Susan, also in Atlanta, she's got a page on her website dedicated to down payment assistance, and rather than link out to the form, you can see she's just embedded this form into her page, just a simple iframe, and she's embedded the form so that the consumer is always on her website, but as they use the form, it's just kind of moving around inside the page. Whereas before, Brian, he's just got a static link here and here that links to, you would open it up in another browser tab, essentially, right? So here's another example, kind of like Susan, but here we see down payment assistance in the website navigation menu. So up at the top, you can see that Angela has added to all of the other things in her website navigation this down payment assistance topic. I click on that. I'm still on her website, and she did the same thing. She just used an iframe and she embedded that form into a page on her own website. Here we have an example of kind of a longer form educational page, and I'm going to show you a couple examples like this. But this is a team in Seattle. They have under advice for buyers, down payment assistance. And when you scroll down the page, you get educational content. And within that educational content, telling the buyer, the aspiring buyer, about these programs, how they work, who they're for, how to qualify, and so forth. They also have embedded links to their Down Payment Connect page. Another example, I'm going to show you this one live later because it's really cool. They start this page on their website. This is in Richmond, Virginia. They start this page with a video they produced. Now we're going to look at some video ideas too, but this is their video. Below it is a long page full of very interesting, very educational content about down payment assistance programs. Embedded within this page are multiple opportunities for the consumer to click on links to access their Down Payment Connect tool. And I'll tell you too, the Richmond Region Realty team has built their team largely on Down Payment Connect and working with first-time homebuyers and leveraging this tool to bring in more business and build up new agents with that kind of experience. So can be a great team building tool as well. Now, switching gears here, a couple different ideas. So this is actually a screenshot of a checklist. It could be, a PDF or something in print that you use at showings or, first client meetings. But I'm going to start with a question. What is a brand new client's homework when you first meet with them? What content, what collateral do you give to them? What instruction do you provide to them? This example comes from Raul in Austin, Texas. Came out of the military into real estate and was working with a lot of VA veterans. And actually, I'll get into more of his story in a minute. But one of the things he realized was he needed sort of a quick checklist. What are the first couple things you need to do for new clients? So step one, find out what you can afford, including having a conversation about cash to close, savings, and what your down payment and closing cost scenario looks like. That also included looking for down payment assistance programs. Then talk with a loan officer and get pre-qualified, get pre-approved, get ready to go out and shop for a home, which of course was step three. Now, very simple, right? Very maybe oversimplified, but the point he was trying to get across was there's a few critical steps that need to happen in this order, but let's not forget that conversation about cash to close. You may not be there yet, but that doesn't mean that homeownership is out of reach because there are opportunities to get you there with these programs. So again, back to my question, what is your takeaway? What is your homework for a new client? What collateral do you give them? What instructions do you provide to them? And does it include that conversation about down payment and cash to close? Which, by the way, is an excellent opportunity to provide that first time, or I'm sorry, that sort of combat that 20% myth. That's a great opportunity to let them know that, hey, by the way, as we start to pursue this, keep in mind, you don't have to have 20% down to buy a home. Your goal is 3.5, 3, 5. If you're a veteran, let's talk about what those opportunities look like. If you're buying in a rural market, let's talk about what those opportunities look like. But what I'm getting at is it's your chance to combat the 20% myth. Now, to be clear, we do have some customizable flyers for you. This one's not ours. This was built by this broker in Austin, Texas, based on what he was seeing in his market and what he felt was the right way to approach a new client. Now, I mentioned we're going to look at all kinds of different examples. Let's talk about email signature or email marketing in general. So this is a loan officer, and you can see in the email signature, regardless of what the content of the email is, in his email signature, he's got some of the things you would expect from a loan officer. Contact info, website, apply now, upload your docs if you're already, under application. Below that, down payment money is available. See if you are eligible. That is a link to his Down Payment Connect page. And of course, we've kind of provided some sample content here, but your email could be broadcasting the availability of these programs, combating the 20% myth. Maybe if you're a loan officer, you're letting agents know, hey, I offer these programs, and here's a tool that your clients can use to find out what's available to them. So adding this to your email signature, or as part of a drip campaign, which we'll get into next, adding this to some sort of like FAQ campaign or something, maybe that goes out via email. If you've got some sort of sequence that goes out to new customers, are you talking about down payment requirements? Are you talking about down payment assistance programs and how to find them in that marketing sequence that goes out to new clients? Food for thought, as is all the rest of this, right? We're trying to give you a bunch of different ideas for how you can weave this into your marketing. So maybe take some notes as we go. Like, what are the 3 things you really want to do when you're done? And by the time we're done, you'll have at least 3 super easy ways to inject this into your marketing. Social media. On the left, Marilyn in Indianapolis. She's got a super simple Facebook post, 2 sentences. Many first-time homebuyers qualify for down payment money. See if you qualify, and let's get shopping for your new home. So simple, right? A 2-sentence call to action, and then you provide your Down Payment Connect link. And she actually used that to run ad campaigns, which she found to be very successful on Facebook. We're not suggesting that you need to spend the money on ad campaigns, but if you've got a big social media following on Instagram, Facebook, maybe you even want to use this on LinkedIn, then leverage that audience and leverage this tool to broadcast the availability of these programs and use Down Payment Connect to give those consumers, those renters, those aspiring home buyers, a tool to find the programs available to them, and more specifically and more importantly, to connect to you. Hence the name Down Payment Connect, right? All right, on the right, I mentioned Raul earlier. That was his checklist we were looking at earlier. He also came up with this 10-part sort of FAQ drip campaign. So he would run this for new clients, run it on Facebook. He pulled out the top 10 questions that he was getting from new home buyers, new clients, and answered them. So pose the question, answer the question, and he would roll this out for new clients so they could get that education, that intel as they started their home ownership journey. Question 6 in that 10-part series, when researching home loans, what is the best approach to look for down payment and closing cost assistance? And then he provides a link to his Down Payment Connect page. Great idea. Great way to weave this into a broader educational campaign. Great way to weave it into a marketing sequence or campaign. Great way to address your social media audience from an educator's perspective. All right, Instagram. Let's look at 2 examples here. On the left, the bottom left, that's a loan officer. Couple of sentences, buying a home, worried you don't have the down payment. With our tool, you can search for many of the programs available, run a search, and see how easy it is to find a home today. Awesome. And on Instagram, you can use something like Linktree or another tool to add your Down Payment Connect link to your bio. On the right here, I like this one. Bo, this is in Florida. Click the link in my bio to get connected to my down payment resource. See if you qualify for help. Stop second guessing yourself and don't leave money on the table. Click to see if you qualify. I love that. And honestly, how many aspiring home buyers are out there second guessing their ability to buy a home because of lack of down payment, because of misperceptions about down payment requirements, because they don't think they can cover closing costs, because they don't know what closing costs are, because they think they have a student or they have a student loan and think that's going to kill the deal, or any number of other reasons. Let's get the message in front of them that you need to have at least one conversation. Don't give up yet, because I, the agent or the loan officer, I might be the one who can turn you into a home buyer. And guys, that's what we're here to help you do, is understand and recognize those opportunities and take action and give you a tool to do so. All right, so this is another one that I really love. We're back to Facebook here. This is a real estate team. It's the Barker Hedges Group. This is in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul. This is their Facebook page, Minnesota First-Time Homebuyer. Now, this post is old, but love the idea. First of all, they're co-marketing with their mortgage company, their trusted mortgage company who does DPA business well, closes on time, sets expectations, and so forth. The post itself, I cut out the pictures, but they got permission from their client to use their name, use a picture, and tell the story about what the real estate team and the mortgage team were able to do for them. Check out the story. Our team would like to congratulate Jasmine on the purchase of her first home. Wishing you all the best. Thank you for working with our team. We love working with first-time home buyers. Home ownership is possible. We can receive up to $12,000 in down payment and closing cost assistance. Go to our website for more details. That's awesome for a couple of reasons. One, you just told all the other aspiring home buyers who are following you on social media what you've just done for their own peer, their own aspiring home buyer peer. You got someone else in their neighborhood down payment assistance, and now they're a home buyer. That's a great message to be sending to current renters and aspiring home buyers. And you're broadcasting that message with your mortgage partner. So, agents, find those loan officers that are savvy with these programs and, like the company here, want your business, want that business from you. They are out there. We'll talk about ways to find those lenders. Lenders, great way to partner up with real estate agents. Go make sure that they understand you offer these programs, execute, succeed, and then leverage that as a marketing activity, marketing best practice. Now, this is actually the same Minnesota real estate team. This is some examples of their activity on Facebook with video. So we're coming back to video here for a moment. On the right, all of these timestamps for all those videos on the right side are about a minute. And they're all sort of Q&A. They're asking a question, credit score, mortgage insurance, PMI, pre-approval. The main video on the screen, though, how to find a lender that offers down payment assistance. What a great question to ask and answer in video format to your social media audience. But we're weaving a lot of things together here. Social media, engage your audience, video, get your personality out there, leverage video, keep it short because we don't need 7, 8, 9, 10 half-hour long videos all the time. Sometimes you just need something quick and simple to get the conversation going, to get the buyer thinking in the right way, toward the right end goal. And also, these are simple. They're not Hollywood productions, right? And that's not to take away from the video. I don't think that was the point of these videos. Some are in a hallway, some are in the corner of a room. We're in a kitchen in the main video, right? Keep it simple, but get the message out there that you want to communicate to aspiring buyers. Now, we've given you a lot so far, but there's more. Let's take a live look at some of those and some additional examples. But first, I want to show you a live example. This is just one MLS dashboard. Remember, if you are a member of one of our partner MLSs, you probably have a dashboard something like this. Again, I can't show dozens of them right now. So let's go with one example here. Product directory. This could be third parties, member benefits, marketing tools, whatever. It's going to be labeled different for all of you, but this is what you're looking for. Down payment resource. Find that button, click on it. It takes you to, whoops, let's click, takes you to your down payment resource dashboard. You saw a screenshot of this earlier. This is your link. Copy the link, right? And then go put that on Facebook, your website, blog, wherever, Instagram. That's the link that you take for consumers to use. But you also have access to these marketing resources. Let me open that up briefly. This is where you have access to graphics libraries. Here are some basics. You've already seen some of these. We're going to see more of them now being used in all manner of creative ways. We have more images for you for various social media platforms, some cool stuff here. Use all of them. Use whatever you want. They're here for you, right? We want you to take advantage of these resources so that you can just get started out the gate. Here are the flyers. These are customizable. You can download them in Word. You will need Word though. And then the bottom right quadrant is editable. So you can add your contact info, your down payment connect link, and so forth. We do have some Spanish language options of those flyers as well. And there's more here. I'll talk about our Down Payment Insiders Facebook group in a moment. But always join our live webinars. You've got access to our education page, some of our reports if you really want to do deep dives into data, video tutorials, and more. So again, from your MLS, I realize it's going to be different, but just to give you an example, scroll down, find down payment resource, click on it. Here's your dashboard. There's your link, access marketing resources, and there's more to help you there. All right, now more examples. Keep it simple. Under the buy menu, this team in Florida just added a link, down payment assistance. And actually, bear with me. Let me log out here and make sure I'm logged out everywhere else. Okay, so under the buy menu, down payment assistance. That's it. No page, no content. They just added a link in their website navigation menu. And if I click on it, I go to the Suncoast team, specifically Brandy's down payment connect page. Anything I do as a consumer here goes to Brandy and only Brandy. But all they did was keep it simple and added a website navigation menu at the top of their page. Here you go again, right there. Then another example of the same thing, loan officers. Here's a lender, same thing. At the top of their website, down payment assistance. If I click on that, I go to that loan officer. This is Robert. I go to Robert's down payment connect page. Kind of the same thing here. A little bit more content though. So this is a lender, mortgage broker. Scroll down this down payment assistance page, which by the way is right here. So under loan options, down payment assistance, here they actually did build a page with a couple of sentences. This is a link to Down Payment Connect right here. This is a link to Down Payment Connect right here. And you're offering them access to do a search for programs available in their market. Here's another simple one. This is just like a splash page. There's nothing else on this page. There's not even any navigation, right? So just like a little marketing page. You could put this out there. This could be a Facebook post, drive people here, and then add a couple sentences. Programs are available. Click the link, answer questions, discover what's available. Here's the link, click on it, and we're off to their Down Payment Connect page. I'm not going to click on the links anymore, but you get the gist, right? Here we have a team that has their whole website is dedicated to first-time home buyers. This is in Sacramento. They're looking to ramp up first-time home buyers in Sacramento. So they've got some partners, they've got some educational content. You can see video throughout here, but they are super dedicated to and passionate about helping first-time home buyers. And back at the top of the page, same thing. All they did was add down payment tool to the top of their website so consumers can search for programs in Sacramento and find out what's out there and get connected to this Selling Sacramento team. Now, we're going to see a couple more examples with a little more content. If you want to get into kind of a longer form educational play, here are a couple of ideas. This is a mortgage originator in Montana. Programs are available everywhere. Making homeownership more affordable. This is actually a blog post, but I love the Q&A or the FAQ style approach here. So we've got a header, we've got an image. Guess what? The image is a link to their Down Payment Connect page. We've got some introductory content, and then they ask and answer 4 or 5 questions here. What are DPAs? Here's your answer. How do these programs work? Here's your answer. Who qualifies? Here's your answer. What are the benefits? Here's your answer. Then another call to action. Down payment help is out there. See if you're eligible. And there's another link to their Down Payment Connect page right there, eligibility search. Super cool. Little bit more content, slightly longer form educational play. Here's another example very similar to that. Blog post. This is, I forget where this is, but blog post, got some graphics. One of these is a link to their Down Payment Connect page. Money's out there. Let's find it. What are these programs? A little bit of educational content. This is actually our video. You can use this too. So there's a little bit more content. And then I love the end of this. Step by step, what are we trying to get that consumer to do? Click. This is like so simple. Click the button, enter your info, get your results, call me. And there's one more opportunity, one more link to their Down Payment Connect page. Super simple. Love it. One last example. I showed you a screenshot of this. This is the team in Richmond, Guide to Buying a Home. This is the team that was that had all the videos on Facebook. They also were the ones that told the story of Jasmine, the first-time home buyer, with their mortgage partner on Facebook. But on their website, under Guide to Buying a Home, they have a page for down payment assistance. On that page, we see the video content. This is their video. They produced it. Then we have educational content. This graphic is a link to their Down Payment Connect page. Then we have more educational content. This text link buried in the educational content is a link to their Down Payment Connect page. And then we get into more finances, home ownership history, profession. Guess what this graphic is? A link to their Down Payment Connect page. price, location, and so on. Great educational website. Maybe you have something simple on Facebook and you drive people to this page and give them the opportunity to self-educate and give them Down Payment Connect to connect with you. One last example, Facebook. Now, this is a longer video. Now, I said earlier, they don't all have to be long, but sometimes there is a place for kind of a deeper dive. Just like we saw with the written content in the last example, this is an example of an agent in the Twin Cities with a 9-minute educational video about down payment assistance and a lot of other topics related to affordability. And in the video description is her Down Payment Connect link. So those were a lot of different ways that you can weave down payment assistance into your educational content and your Down Payment Connect tool into those messages to enable consumers to take the next step. So I want to show you a couple more things here, and then we'll leave a few minutes for Q&A. So we took a live look. I'm not going to read this, but I hope you were taking notes about the 1 or 2 or 3 ways you want to get started using this tool, because we covered a lot, but there's some really cool, really creative ways that you can expand your reach to more people, educate more buyers, and let them know that homeownership may be within reach, all the while generating leads. But email, Facebook, Instagram, website, blog, email signature, video, and so on and so forth. What do we say? Checklist like new customer collateral, new client collateral. What are you doing there? Think about all those different ways and all the ways that you can weave, or one way, 2 ways that you want to weave this into your marketing. A couple more things to wrap up. Leverage the experts. Agents, we know you're looking for lenders that do these programs. I'm going to show you next one way to do that. But of course, when you get the leads from Down Payment Connect, you can click the program details from any program that lead found. And one of the first things we show you is the lenders as published by the program provider themselves who participate in that program. You can also call the DPA providers, number 2 here. They may have educational opportunities, networking events, and they can tell you who their top lenders are in your area. Number 3, the DPA providers themselves can also educate you about their programs, and you can weave information about those available programs into your marketing. And lastly, we would encourage agents and loan officers, pick a client and attend the homebuyer education class with them, or even part of it. Listen to the content and absorb that into your own messaging and marketing. Now, another way to connect, we have a lot of loan officers and a lot of real estate agents here. Join our Down Payment Insiders group on Facebook. And if we can post that URL in the chat, we'll give you the link right there in the chat right now. This is 12,000 real estate agents and loan officers around the country who are sharing best practices, marketing ideas, and stories about working with DPA programs. There's the link in chat. Go join that group. They're also sharing challenges and obstacles and lessons learned and solutions they came up with. But increasingly more, they are networking. Agents, this is a great place to network and find loan officers in your market that are active DPA originators and are happy to accept that business from you. Carve out a strategy for first-time home buyers and borrowers using DPA. So we encourage you to join that group, listen in and learn, network, teach, all of the above, whatever works for you. And I do want to make sure we put our MLS partners up here again. So if you are a member of one of these MLSs, you have Down Payment Connect for free. We showed you a couple different ways to get that. If you have any questions, our contact information is coming up here. But these are our MLS partners. You have far more than just Down Payment Connect, but that was the focus today. It's a super easy, free, low-hanging fruit tool that you can use to engage more buyers and generate more leads. There's no reason not to use it. Quick case study, Amber at the top, agent, Florida, new to the business, didn't know a lot about DPA, but her peers were her clients and they were struggling to understand down payment requirements and how to buy a home. So she found a few loan officers that understood DPA, taught her, she went and learned more on her own, she partnered up with them and she built her business. with first-time home buyers using down payment assistance in Florida. Raul, we saw a couple of examples of his marketing ideas. The new client intake flyer, the FAQ Facebook sequence or campaign. But again, he got out of the military, ended up in real estate, found some clients that didn't really understand how this all worked and thought there had to be a better way to educate them, and wove Down Payment Connect into that process. So those are just two examples among the many marketing examples of how you can grow your business. And remember, if you are not a member of one of those MLS partners, you can also go to downpaymentresource.com/DPC, as in Down Payment Connect, and you can subscribe to the paid version. And look, it's $24 a month for an agent. It's $39 a month for a loan officer, because you get a good bit more functionality. Agents, you can upgrade. But I'll reiterate, if you're a member of one of our MLS partners, please don't go pay for Down Payment Connect. You already have it. If you're a loan officer, or if you're a real estate agent that is a member of an MLS that has not partnered with us, we're happy to talk to them. We would love that opportunity, but you can also access and take advantage of Down Payment Connect for $24 a month. LO's $39 a month. All right, so I'm going to leave my contact, or our contact information, up on the screen here. Let's get into Q&A, Mel, if there are some themes. But before we do, guys, if you have any questions after this webinar, go ahead and make note of this. You can reach out to us at info@downpaymentresource.com. And most of the people that get that email are on this webinar today too. So with that, Mel or Tracy or Lori or Keith, we got a big team in the background. What are we seeing in Q&A? Any questions we need to address? Any trends we need to address? Mel?
Hey, Sean, this is Tracy. Quickly, I do want to remind people, because I am seeing it fly through chat a little bit here, it's just the last couple of minutes, but we are recording this. Anyone who registered for today's webinar will be receiving a copy of the recording, as well as the slide deck. It will be emailed to you at the same email address you used to register. And you'll probably get it by end of day tomorrow. It takes a little while for that to process, so don't expect that today, but you will be receiving that. We definitely have had lots of questions about finding lenders to partner with and things like that. And I know that you just touched on that a lot, but I still have lots of people asking about that in here in the Q&A. But as a quick reminder, you can go to our Facebook page that Sean had up on the screen a few moments ago, and that Mel put in the chat box. It's a great way to network and to find people in your area. We house programs across the whole country. So we have several programs in here, and several in all of the states that we work with. So we don't really have a list to provide you with lenders, but you can find some in your area by going to that page. But you can also find them a list of the lenders that are approved for down payment, for the specific down payment assistance program that you're looking at, by clicking on the link within the results. When you receive the results by email for the eligibility search, click on the link for the program, and you can find the list of approved lenders through that program provider. So that's another great way to locate that information. I don't know if you want to dive into it anymore or not, Sean, but that's a big common question I keep getting.
Yeah, I think that's sufficient today. I would say, look, talk to your existing loan officer partners too. And I see some questions in here. I can't see a name on this one, but I've seen some questions. How come every lender doesn't offer these programs? Well, look, that's the lender's choice. And then within the lending enterprise, there are individual loan officers that may or may not be interested in down payment assistance, business down payment assistance loans, and your clients who need those programs. But maybe it hasn't come up with your current loan officer partners. Definitely ask them. Ask your broker. Maybe they know across the brokerage of some agents that are doing a lot of DPA business who have a great lender partner. Talk to the program providers. Call your state housing finance agency. Call your local DPA providers. Ask them, who are the loan officers that are doing the most business, and submit the best loan files to you. And then, of course, from our data, and don't forget down payment insiders. That really is, there's so much networking happening in this Down Payment Insiders Facebook group. We encourage you to join. There are a lot of loan officers in there that are passionate about DPA and do a great job with those loans. And there are a lot of agents in there that also do a lot of DPA, and may have partnerships that you could take advantage of. So any other questions that we need to address? Any other trends? We'll stick on
Hey,
the
Sean,
webinar for another couple minutes here.
I just want to add, because there were a few questions that had come in regarding like definition of a first-time home buyer, how that may change. So I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that another webinar that we host is DPA 101, which we actually go through some of those specific definitions and how they vary amongst different program providers. So if there are any questions for that, please submit them, but also, sign up for that DPA 101 webinar. It's great information, highly suggested.
Yeah, and that was Will. Will hosts that webinar. But that's the one I mentioned earlier, which is a breakdown of that one slide where we tell you all about home buyer assistance programs, how they're alike, how they differ, what's out there, different kinds of programs. But just to reiterate, for the purpose of down payment assistance, you are a first-time home buyer if you have not owned a home in the last 3 years, the most recent 3 years. And typically, that's even more nuanced if you've not had titled interest in a primary residence in the most recent 3 years. So broadly, just remember the 3-year rule. If they haven't owned a home in the last 3 years, they're a first-time home buyer, almost universally for down payment assistance. Anything else, Keith, Mel, Lori?
Hi, Sean. Nothing here. Just wanted to thank everybody for the great questions, and just wanted to let everybody know that just kind of what you were alluding to, a lot of the first-time home buyer requirements. I mean, it's going to be based on the programs, but just don't discount thinking that your buyer or your prospective buyer is not going to be eligible, because there are a lot of nuances that might, like you're talking about the first time home buyer definition for somebody that may be divorced or displaced. So just, don't just automatically discount somebody, just dig a little deeper sometimes, because a lot of these programs have nuances that allow for some of these bars to obtain that assistance. So, but thank you, everybody.
Yeah, and that's a great point for real estate agents. There's nothing stopping you from building up your DPA IQ and becoming an expert. And you've seen examples of agents doing that and building their business. But also remember, leverage your loan officer partners. They should be savvy and familiar with the nuances of DPAs that can open the door to people that you might have just assumed were closed doors. Mel, Lori, anything else you guys want to cover?
Not from me, Sean. We've had really good questions, and I think, we've had a lot of team members on answering them. I think you covered everything I had.
And Lori, I'm going to put you on the spot, newest member of our team, but also an active real estate agent. Anything you want to add to the mix here? A message to the agents in the audience? Is Lori still with us? Nah, she's not. Okay, sorry guys. All right, info@downpaymentresource.com. If you guys want to ask any questions, we will send out the recording, the deck, and information about upcoming webinars and events. I hope that you got out of this 1 or 2 or 3 ways that you can quickly, easily, low-hanging fruit, get Down Payment Connect in front of more of your prospective clients, expand your audience, and educate more buyers. So with that, take it away. Go have fun with the tool. Let us know if you have any questions as you start to use it, and go find those agent loan officer partnerships that are going to work best for you and be fruitful. Info@downpaymentresource.com. If you have questions, thank you all and have a wonderful day.